Several years ago, during the Biden administration, the administration started something called the Climate Smart Program. That program was for American farmers who know all too well the dangers of climate change because they experience it every year, possibly more so than other folks. It was to help farmers do several different things, all related, of course, to keeping farmers afloat while combating climate change. Everything from giving them grants to expand their grazing lands so that way droughts were not affecting them as much for their livestock, helping them replenish the soil that was being lost each year due to erosion from areas that had heavy floods or heavy rains, and of course, giving them money to put solar panels on their farms. And all of this was funded by the Biden administration through the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Farmers across the country took part in this program. They wrote out their grants, they got approved by the administration, and they received a guarantee that we will give you X amount of dollars to do the things you're saying you're going to do. In response to that, farmers here in the United States went out and they bought new equipment. They bought new land or they leased new land that, they have to make monthly payments on. Same with that massively expensive farming equipment that can cost $500,000 a pop. And they put the solar panels up there, which again, they signed these contracts to make monthly payments for the next 10, 20 years, all because they knew the money from the government is on the way. Then Trump came into office and canceled all the grants. So these farmers, some of whom had invested millions of dollars by taking out millions in loans to expand their lands or bring in new soil to replenish what was being lost under the Climate Smart program, they're on the hook for millions of dollars in loans that they now can't afford. They can't make the monthly payments. So they're at risk of losing their farmland, all because of the government backed out of the contract they had signed with them. Because the Trump administration froze all the funding. Well, now a group of about a dozen or more environmental groups is representing these farmers as they sue the Trump administration to get the money that they were promised, which is great for them. But unfortunately, because that money has now been dried up for a couple months, a lot of these farmers can't wait more months. The bank is not going to care that you're in litigation trying to get the money back so you can pay the loan on the new piece of property you bought or the new piece of equipment you want or you bought. The bank's going to come and just take it, and you're going to go into foreclosure. You could go into bankruptcy, as some of these farmers already say, listen, we shelled out the money up front. They were going to pay us back. And now we're out the money. They're not paying. I'm about to lose everything. Other farmers have admitted they've had to lay off dozens of workers. So in these small rural communities, dozens of people overnight without a job. All because the Trump administration didn't care for Biden's climate program. It wasn't hurting anybody. Maybe some power companies that were getting a little bit less money each month because a few farms had solar panels. But other than that, it was just these farmers doing what they do, providing food for the entire damn country. But the administration said no because it has the word climate in it. Climate is somehow woke or DEI or whatever label we want to slap on it. So screw those farmers. We're going to turn off the money. And you're going to go into bankruptcy, and we don't care. I am hoping, I do know some of these organizations that are representing these farmers. They're brilliant organizations with wonderful lawyers. Hopefully they will prevail. Because these people were promised money. It doesn't matter who was in the White House at the time. The deals were made. The farmers honored their part of it. And the federal government, legally, has no choice but to do the same. Now, if Trump doesn't want to continue the program beyond the grants that have already been guaranteed, so be it. It's stupid, but so be it. But Trump isn't a guy that makes good on his debts. He's not a guy that likes to pay people even when there's an agreement. There's plenty of court cases throughout history to show us that. And he will not pay these people the money that they were guaranteed until a court forces him to. And even then, I'm not so sure he'd do it. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. We got fresh content every day for you. And if you want to follow us across social media, make sure you check out all of the social links that we have posted in the description of this video.